So with the Prem team of the season out, it's a very interesting one. And to be honest, it's a little bit underwhelming. I think in terms of content from what we've got, I like the cards. I think the upgrades are nice. But we've struck kind of a problem now. With Saka at 93, Cunha at 94, with the abilities of evolutions now hitting that sort of stage, they do become a little bit lackluster. Now, obviously, there is some monstrous picks. If you just go into the Prem, you can kind of work out who they're going to be. Haaland, to be honest, under 700,000, let alone in the very first day. His price has pretty much been around here, but in general, he's been at that sort of price. Isaac, 2.1, or Isaac. You've then got just shy of $1 million for Gravenberch. Obviously, Salah's going to come in as one of the most expensive, with Virgil van Dijk being the most expensive. With the quadruple playstyle plus, they did cheap out on not giving him a quadruple defensive playstyle plus, but at the very minimum, aerial, anticipate, block, and also long ball pass is outstanding. And I don't think there's any question that you could not put Virgil at the top of that list. When it comes to Salah, we've got the Trivela, we've got the Incisive, the First Touch, and the Finesse. So we are missing some sort of pace playstyle plus, which is fine. I mean, we've definitely seen the likes of Cunha. We've seen plenty of 99 pace players that have been more than non-affected by not having that rapid playstyle plus, and Salah's going to be one that is just incredible in himself. He's a 5-star, 4-star. Stats are absolutely insane. Obviously, he did have his team of the year, which is still a very nice card in itself. When you look at the stat upgrades, it's ones across the board. So really, you're just missing out on the Trickster, the Rapid, and gaining Incisive, Trivela, and First Touch. Now again, I don't think there's going to be any qualms to putting him here. And newsflash, we are going to do the exact same with a bit of Saliba as well. Saliba, his body type, it reminds me very much kind of how Ramos was. He's not necessarily the biggest centre-back in the world. I mean, 6'4" is pretty tall, but he seems to always be a little bit more on the leaner side than he does compared to Virgil. Virgil's quite a stocky build. He's a big old unit. To be honest, I am surprised that Virgil is the same height, but Saliba just, it feels that more naturally slim build. I don't think Ramos is even in the game. If anybody knows how tall Ramos is, he obviously was a right back to start with. We'll figure that out in the future. But in terms of other options, you can go with the Prem. So if you're looking for coins, check in the description for El Dorado. Depending on the coin amount that you're looking for, the delivery time is displayed on the website, and you'll see lots of different trusted sellers with reviews on specifics and also the ability to be able to pick who you want. It will also show how much they have in stock, and obviously you can see that they are verified members. There is 100% refund ability and also 24/7 support if you need any questions with your coin needs. Also, if you head over to Trustpilot as well, you can see over 30,000 upvotes for them. You can see how reliable they are. Obviously great feedback across the entire board with El Dorado. So when on checkout, make sure you are using the code JT11 for 5% off your order every time. Discount code JT11. Now let's get back to the video. We're obviously looking at Isaac. He's going to be another one that is fantastic to look at, and most definitely has got himself the ability. He's got a triple play style plus with the rapid, the finesse, and the low driven, which to be honest is all you kind of need at this sort of level. At 96, he's going to put himself in that topper category. I don't think there's any questions there. We also then have Haaland, and to be honest, he's another one that I think if he had the finesse, I think he would be up there. And as much as I think right now, if we was to go with the level of strikers we've got, I do think he still puts himself into that top. Like realistically, he's got the 5'4", he's a big old striker, he's got himself the stats, the triple play style plus, the quick step's good enough, press proven's going to be good for strength. It's a shame that we didn't get the finesse, but regardless, his shooting capabilities are still going to be incredible. So for right now, I think he stays there. He's going to need a monstrous footies if he wants to upgrade any further. And I really hope that they go over this 99, because the big thing that we had is looking at someone like Saka. Saka and Cunha are perfect examples of this. So we look at Saka at 93. Not only does Saka not have great luck with any cards, like even this 98, it was at the point where this was right at the end of the game. He's not beating a 99 Salah. He's not beating a 99 Messi. You're not going to use him in this point. Even in the team of the season, it's a lovely card, but Rapid was massive in FC 24. You go one further back, FIFA 23, Kid on the Block, 93 again, underneath Salah by a landslide. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Salah is less than Saka. I think Saka's got a bright future ahead of him, but he's always been just that underneath punchline, unfortunately. So again, this is another one where, yes, he's been injured, so it's fair enough that he's not necessarily getting the biggest upgrade of his life, but 93 in a team that's doing pretty well and he's at the helm of it, I feel like it's a bit of a shame that he just didn't get that upgrade. We already have a 90 rated card. The stats are not good enough. Let alone that, we go to this 90, so say you've done this SBC right at the start of the game, to the point, quite literally, we go all the way down, if we can, there we go, if we can go all the way to Thunderstruck, which will be below Team of the Year, we got Thunderstruck the 29th of November. 29th of November. So say you did that card, you're obviously an Arsenal fan, you're either an Arsenal fan or a Saka fan, you got the 90, and yesterday we got this upgrade. Now, it's just one of the ones. Oh, in fact, it's not even that one. It's quite literally just this one. 93 rated, 125,000. You've already put the SBC cost in, so it's kind of dead and buried. Like, that's November's tax profit. You're looking at a 93 that is pretty much on that same level. Arguably, quick step, pinged pass, finesse, compared to technical, press proven, and finesse. I mean, I kind of know which one I'd prefer. So already, you've got a team of the season that doesn't mean anything. And yes, not every single team of the season needs to be outstanding. Of course it doesn't. But even then, if you go for the 87, you're still going to hit a pretty decent left forward upgrade. When you look at him in comparison to this, it's not that much of an upgrade for the team of the season, let alone having the playstyle pluses that he has in there. Obviously, that's with the little things, but you can remove it. This is the problem. Same with Cunha. You look at him, a very good card as well. I think at least he's got a solid upgrade to a 94. Finesse, power shot, first touch, 5'4", 98 pace, great shooting, dribbling. But then when you look at him in comparison to the 91, we literally got 2 months ago, month and a half ago now, 5-star, so better on that front. Stats wise, 3s, 5 on the defending don't really count, so it's 3s across the board. Yes, he's got the chip shot, he hasn't got the triple, but you think we are already in that category now where evolutions are getting to the 91. If he gets a 93 upgrade, he gets a triple play store plus with a quick step, he gets something that is more useful than having a power shot. It's already then a kind of a GG's for him. You could buy him for 67,000 coins. You probably look at what? A maximum of 200k for an Evo, maybe even 100 at this point. Is already then better than his team of the season, or at least on par. I think this is not the problem that we're getting Evos that are way better. They're already on par, meaning you don't have to pay them prices. Virgil van Dijk, Salah, all of them, they are going to be phenomenal. And even then, you look at someone like Salah, you go for the dream chasers that we got, Rapid and Finesse. Yes, you're getting the Travella, the first touch, but some people would prefer that. They might not necessarily need the upgrade if you've managed to get that version. If you've started to Evo the 90 into the 93, again, whether you'd want to, you've obviously got the same as Saka. You could put him into this one, get the quick step, the finesse. Some people, that's all they need. They've even got a pinged pass, which is actually relatively decent on the cut-in. You look at him in comparison to the team of the season, realistically, what, 3 pace, 5 shooting, which is good, 4 on the dribbling, fantastic, and a bit of physicality. Pace-wise, it doesn't matter that much. A 3 pace is not going to be that much of a big difference. So I think this is the biggest problem they've got when it comes to the upgradability of this game. They need to go above 99 at this point. If we're going to go for footies and it's just going to be everybody at 98 and 99 with quadruples, that's going to be the biggest problem they have. So, tangent, but still, it is important to know that this is why, in general, like you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll count a bit of Gravenberch. 5, 6, 3, 5, 6, 7. That it? 7 players above 1 million coins in the Prem team of the season. It should be the best of the best, and Palmer should be up there with at least the upgradability of him, like a 96 with a quadruple. If they're going to go and try and make something massive, they need to add this golfing class to bring it up there, basically. But it is what it is. Obviously, when it comes to the keepers, we've got Raya and Sells. Sells at 6'2". I mean, I like him. I'm waiting for the day that we get a triple goalie playstyle plus, but that is not happening just yet. We've got pinged pass. We've got, I don't know, that far reach and cross claimer. I'm a big fan of rush. I kind of like having the rush because I just find that it's a nice backup in case if I want to bring him out and kind of play with the attacker, it works. I mean, you could get a little bit of use out of him. I think 94, you know what, it doesn't matter with keepers nowadays. I think you can get very usable with him. Raya I'd actually go more usable because I actually didn't realise how small Raya actually is. It's a very interesting one to see. It's 6 foot tall, 92 rated. I am surprised that he hasn't had more of a bigger impact on this. I feel like he's kind of just usable at this point. Nothing too massively crazy. Now, obviously, we do rack through a few of them. We can obviously see when we look at the likes of Palmer. It's a nice card. I think he's very usable. I don't think he's necessarily the best version of what we could have saw. Bruno, I think, is a solid card as well. I'd possibly put Bruno in that category of very usable as well. And you've got so many options. Like it's not just Bruno, but it's the fact that the triple passing playstyle plus works really, really well for him. Now, I could see people just going for the usable with him. I really could. I don't think it's necessarily a guarantee that he is in the very usable, but I think for what we're seeing at the moment, he's decent enough, I would say. Then we've obviously got the Rice. I think Rice is absolutely fantastic. Obviously, they got an Evo after him. I get the Dead Ball Plus, and it's obviously for events that happened or occurred right now, which is the team of the season, I suppose, but it is a shame that they got the Dead Ball Plus. If they got something like an Intercept, I think that card could have been quite literally the next level. Obviously, Gravenberch next to him in the same sort of role. Intercept, Bruiser, Long Ball, very, very good card in himself as well. Stats are outstanding, I must admit. And then we did get a Gabriel. I was surprised. I was wondering who would actually be the centre-backs in this game, because we've obviously got Virgil. Saliba seemed to be a good choice, but I felt like we kind of don't have many fullbacks that are going into it. Trent was obviously going to be one, and Kirkez I saw as an outside shout, but we did get Gabriel as well with the Anticipate, the Slide Tackle and the Bruiser, and to be honest, I would most definitely put all three of them up into that category as some of the best players that we've got current to date. We also have a fantastic highlight. They are just left to dry. Tarkowski, Mitoma, most definitely coming in as cheaper beasts. But Skelly, absolutely insane. 400,000 coins, good left back. Whether he's going to beat Teo Hernandez is kind of up for debate. But the fact that he can play in that CDM, I think puts himself on this absolute map. I think he goes in there very much like a McAllister. He's just a solid card. He may not be the best of the best just yet. We're going to see hopefully a very good footage for him, but most definitely puts himself at least somewhere on the board. We then throw into a bit of Trent. Again, I'm kind of half and half with him. Like the worst thing is he hasn't even got the CDM role at this point, which I get that he can obviously have the fullback plus, but I kind of want him to play the centre mid CDM. I mean, yes, you've got the long ball pass and the incisive for a right back, but he's only going to be okay. He's not going to be incredible. He could be. In a CDM with a 5-5, a shapeshifter footage would be outrageous for him. Cunha's obviously going to go there as well. Saka, unfortunately, I am going to drop him down purely on the fact that that Evo is going to be better than him. The better playstyle plus is obvious for me. Throwing into then Kirkez, I really liked him from his previous versions. We saw him in, what version was it? Where is he? We saw him in this version. Is that a future star? It is a future star. It was the informs that we saw mainly to start with because of obviously all of the Evos that were available. But then once we started getting Evos of the future star as well, you knew he was doing pretty well. 220, tiki-taka, block, slide tackle with some very good defensive ability. He's a solid card. He's definitely one to put on your roster. Like I say, Teo Hernandez is going to be a very, very high factor in this card and many of the icons that we've seen so far. Which kind of leads us now into the bottom of kind of the team of the season, really. And by no means does that mean they are terrible. They are just the cheapest of the lot. And you've got to have them in every team of the season. We've obviously got Robinson. I think is a decent enough left back. He may not have necessarily the biggest kind of playstyle pluses I want. Tarkowski, again, very similar. Power shot plus. I get it. I do get it, but it's just not going to translate very well. I'd probably miss out on him. Matoma is solid. I personally would have loved a rapid, but hence why they haven't done that for him. And then Chris Wood, I mean, they really should have just given him free shoot and playstyle pluses. I get the aerial, obviously, for the heading, but they know what they're doing. They know that it doesn't necessarily translate into anything in this game. Heading is quite literally irrelevant unless you're defending. So you could have easily gone finesse, power shot, and also low driven. And failing that, you'd have just gone power header instead, just to make it shooting orientated. With how many goals he's actually got, I think it would have been better for him. So I would go Chris Wood, I'd go Robinson. I'd actually go Mlavinkovic. I think he actually would be slightly better. Aerial, anticipate, slide tackle. You could get a little bit of very usable out of him, but I would drop him still. I still think he would be a little bit lower. I'd say usable for Matoma and Tarkowski just for the fact of that power shot. If he had the triple defensive, I think it would have made him that slight bit better for him. And then we do have two more of the Prem, or three in fact. We have a Jamie Vardy who most definitely puts himself into that category. We'll go on to his SBC in a second. We have Rogers. I like the card. I think he's definitely in a good category. And then also we have got, if we keep going down, we've got Bruno G. Again, another fantastic one that we'll show you in a moment. But Vardy will take a lot of the stage. Obviously, he is an end of an era. It is a true end of era with him. He obviously has got the quick step, the power shot, and the low driven. Phenomenal striking card. If you are looking for an English striker, this is the one to get. 1 million coins, very easy to grind out, and you've got until the 2nd of August. No, 2nd of June, in fact. Going ahead of myself a little bit there. The 2nd of June to get him done. So you've got a fair few days. You've got a whole month to grind him out. Very easy to do. I think he really belongs in this list. We then also have Bruno G coming in with the 93. I suppose he didn't get a bit of more of an upgrade, and I'm surprised we haven't got some sort of Joel Linton now. I haven't looked at the leaked SBCs, so that is more than possible. But 2 Newcastle players in SBCs would be interesting. 150 for him. I think he has potential to be a base layer card. Maybe an Evo in the future I think would suit him down to the ground, but at the minimum I think he's quite decent. And to be honest, that is just the Prem. We're going to absolutely spitfire through a lot of these players. We've got the WSL next with some monstrous upgrades again. We see Shaw with a 97. We're obviously going into comparisons to our obvious team of the year. It is a double upgrade with an extra playstyle plus. We are getting... We're keeping the quick step. So she has the quick step added. We don't have the finesse, but we have low driven. Same with the aerial, and we have first touch instead of press proven. Stats wise, a little bit more pace, shooting, and physicality, which is always nice. I've always liked her as a striker, even from, was it last year's team of the season? She just dominated full. It was incredible to see. She's obviously a very, very talented striker when it comes to being in the game, and it works effortlessly. Now, looking at kind of the Russo, looking at Fowler, some solid cards. I mean, they're not necessarily going to be complete game changers. You can see there is very few in this one that there is going to be much of an upgrade anywhere. Like Russo, you could go and sure I'd possibly put into at least a solid category. I don't know if they would make it into that top meta. Maybe sure potential, but I think you've really got to kind of consider everybody else in this list. And then obviously we do look at quite a few of the rest of them. Obviously we've gone for Nusken. Don't know how you pronounce her name, but CDM, solid. Obviously the Arsenal left mid, decent enough. And you kind of then really just looking at kind of like a Lucy Bronze potentially, which they're 95. Obviously coming in comparison to a 94 team of this year, but we're already pretty much there on the rating. Obviously got rid of that long ball throw, which is thank God for that one. But then when you do look at the rest, they're just very standard, really, aren't they? They're not... I feel like the Ligue 1, the D1 kind of was the first one. They need to really kind of assess these upgrades because they are, most of them, even the Prem, like we've said, most of the Prem are under 100,000 coins, and they're kind of like the most wanted cards, wanted players in the entire game, other than probably La Liga potentially at the moment, and even then they're only looking at Bellingham, Mbappe, or Vinny. They're not looking at a bottom team CDM that's done incredible this year. It's just the big names. So unfortunately, a lot of them will just go into the fodder pile. But then that does put us into the EFL. Now, obviously, Leeds and Burnley are already through. They are promoted into the Premier League, and we are just missing out on that playoff point. So there is a lot of top-end players in here. And again, we're looking at the EFL, so it's looking from all of the divisions from it, which is always interesting. In general, I think Leeds have definitely got the kind of better standpoint from this. We see a 1.5 million great CDM. Honestly, solid card. Pinged pass, long ball, relentless, which actually is quite good nowadays, and intercept mixed with the stats that we've got. I must admit that puts him in a very good position. From a silver as well is incredible to see, and I think they've done well for the upgrade. The composure's on a top level, great passing, physicality, defending, even a bit of shooting on him. He puts himself, for this right moment, I would say into that kind of top category, on the level of a Declan Rice capability. And the ex-Barcelona left-back managing to get into the championship team of the season. It's Firpo. Honestly, a solid card. Again, he's always been kind of, it's almost like the former Balde as such. Necessarily, well, I think he was Spanish before. Yeah, he was Spanish before. We saw him way back when, obviously they've got rid of the cards now, but we saw him way back when for plenty of Barcelona cards. And as a gold base card, always pacey, always got a bit of ability about him. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be fantastic in the game. The incisive, the jockey, the anticipate are going to work nicely, but I do think it's going to be an interesting one to see where he kind of goes from it. And then as you do go a bit further down the list, we obviously have got our boy Daniel James, good old Dan James, coming in with the absolute rapid winger mentality. Now, they didn't give him the finesse, which I think would have been really nice to link with that 5-star weak foot, but it is what it is. We've got technical, we've got the quick step, and we've got the incisive. Now, he obviously can play across the board, left mid, right wing, striker, and also right mid. He's an interesting one. I think for me, we would be looking at quite a usable winger. Not necessarily the most effective, but I think for price that you're going to look at, it's going to be pretty decent for it as well. We also then have the left mid from Norwich, the other side, 784,000 for him. We have Borgia, rapid, technical finesse. At least he got the finesse in this. He has got the 5-star with obviously a right foot for the cuttings, and is kind of that Dan James what he should have been. So it's another interesting one to see where he can go for it. We also have Trafford. Now, obviously, I've never really used him too much in the game. I don't think many people would have, to be honest. 6'4", going off what we know from goalies. I mean, I would give him the benefit of the doubt. I think 6'4" is always a nice height. Stats-wise, it kind of means absolutely nothing. So I would put him up there. I think genuinely, if you've got a keeper that's tall enough, decent stats, some good playstyle pluses, I would kind of go in the top meta if he was with the rush, but he doesn't, so he's going to have to go down. We then have a few more in the kind of lower side of stuff, which is natural. Like, we've obviously got the bottom end of with Mullen. It's going to be more nostalgic value more than anything. He could give you a bit of use, but realistically, most of these, they're either slightly usable because you like the team, you like the player, or the nation suits, or it's just the fact that you are very new to the game and don't have anybody on that same sort of level. Evos are better than a lot of the kind of bottom end sort of players, and that's kind of the point of it, really. That they're trying to get everybody on that same wavelength, and hence why they do that. We do then have some centre backs, obviously from Burnley and also Leeds. Aerial anticipate and intercept versus block, slide tackle, and bruiser. Both solid enough. You've got 6'4" versus 6'3", both with one with a 5-star weak foot, 3-star skills. It's kind of fine. And then the 4'4" with the Burnley lad as well. I mean, you could get some use out of both of them. I don't think they're going to be incredible players in that sort of list, but most definitely you get a little bit out of him at the very, very minimum. We then also have Hammer. He's coming in with his left mid, 18,000, can play centre mid and cam as well. Always interesting. He's going to be with a long ball plus the press proven and the incisive, 5-star, 4-star. solid enough. It's the standard, really, isn't it? It's gonna be nothing too crazy, but it'll give you a little bit about it. Striking wise, now this was kind of where we saw. Was it Tony we saw? I think it was Ivan Toney from the championship before, who just burned through in the team of the season and kind of just became that name everybody knew. Now we've got Stansfield and Kelman as the two strikers. We've got Power Shot, Tiki Taka and Travella. Not a great start. Stats look decent enough. And then we have Finesse, Chip Shot and also Low Driven. Better. 5-star weak foot. We've got some solid pace across the board. Solid shooting. Dribbling's up there. And we've got 80, is that 85 physicality versus, I'm assuming, 90. I mean, you could, yeah, then they're just not going in, really, are they? You've obviously got the centre-back in the middle there that can play Allen, 92 pace, 92, it's all standard. Like, let's be real. You're going to have it with the Championship, the minor league. It was the same as the Eredivisie. You've got like 5 to 6 cards that are actually decent enough. Like, you could get a bit about them, but then you're not going to get the whole team in there. Let's be real. So let me know down below what you think. I'm hoping some SBCs do come out and really kind of push this team. I mean, we've got a lot of kind of usable cards, but there's going to be a few that you want to get into your team pretty ASAP. And then obviously the top meta are always going to be incredible. So let me know down below what your best team of the season is. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you all for the next one. Peace.